So let's take a little closer look at the channels panel itself. I'm just going to move my image out of the way here a little bit. As I mentioned in the previous video, we have, by default, when you have an RGB image, your RGB composite channel here at the top, and then all the corresponding red, green, and blue channels just below. These are essential to your image, and they make up the overall image itself. These will always be there. Now, optional channels you have, of course, are the Pantone spot channels. If you're using spot colors in your designs, this is where you would create and manage your spot colors. And then, of course, you have your alpha channels, which are basically masks that store selections or masks. Anytime you need them, you can actually store them in here, modify them. They're black, white, and gray images. Don't have any color information because you're just modifying the inactive or active pixels, or in some cases, partially active pixels, which will be gray. And we'll talk about those a little bit more in depth later on. Very bottom of the channels panel, we have a number of icons here. The very first one here allows you to turn whatever selected channel you have here in the menu to an active selection. Just by clicking on that icon, you can see it turns this current alpha channel into an active selection based on the area it's looking at. It looks at the white area as 100% active, so it makes that selection the entire area of the white selected. The next icon here in the channels panel is being able to convert an active selection into an alpha channel. If I have a noble selection here in my document and I go in the channels palette and click on that icon, it will go ahead and create a new alpha channel based on that active selection. Next one is creating a new alpha channel altogether. When you click on the new alpha channel icon, it creates a new alpha channel and by default fills it with black, which is inactive pixels. Basically, there's no active pixels in here, no gray or white pixels, so there's nothing going on until you actually introduce pixels in here. The next one, of course, is the trash can, which allows you to throw away any channels you don't need by simply clicking on it and clicking OK, or simply dragging a channel to the trash can, and it will go ahead and toss it out as well. Then, of course, you have the pop-out menu here for the channels panel, where you have a number of features that we've already talked about. Creating a new channel here, you can duplicate channels, even delete channels, create your new spot channels and other spot channel features, channel options, splitting channels, merging channels. All these we're going to talk about a little later in the course, but I just wanted to make sure you're familiar with the channels panel itself and its various functions. Now, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on with the channels palette, but you'll be surprised at how much you can actually achieve just using channels in Photoshop, and we're going to talk about those throughout this course.